physical energy, and we don't have of the central nervous system. You remember I told you 3 weeks ago that the body is a system of systems. So you have the central nervous system, you have the respiratory system, you have the digestive system, you have the muscular system, you have the skeletal system, you have the renal system, you have the reproductive system. Now, all excretory system, you have all the system, and is a system. The body is a system of systems functioning in unison, functioning in concert to produce results, to produce functionality for the human being. Now, the central nervous system, and the organ of the central nervous system is the brain. The brain is the controller, is the executive arm of the government of the body, is the one responsible for all the things that you see. Now, the movement of the arms and the legs are coordinated by the human brain. The brain, before now, we've not given and paid so much attention to the brain. We did a lot of physical activities and did not know where the energy was coming from. The energy, the movement of the hands, the legs, and all the other body parts comes from the brain. If the brain says shut down, that place shuts down. For instance, what you call, when somebody has, when the brain tells the heart to shut down, tells the heart shut down, something is happening, the heart shuts down. For instance, you know we have when there's a power surge. Once you have a power surge, the circuit breaker will cut power to prevent damage to the systems or to the electrical appliances of the house. Now, once the lightning is over, it's expected that somebody will walk up to the box there and switch it back on. Switch it on. It's tripped off so that it can be switched on. So if the central nervous system, if the brain says the heart shut down and you're going to a cardiac arrest, for instance, for some reason, now when you drop on the ground, what is expected is that somebody will come and switch on the heart again by doing what you call the CPR. But the thing now is, how many people can do the CPR? So once the heart says shut down, it shuts down. Once there's a stroke in the brain, for instance, every day I see you, I give you a handshake. Family, every day I see you, I give you a handshake. But this day, once I've got a stroke, and the stroke has now maybe affected that muscular part of, that muscular part of the body, the motor part of the body that is responsible for my left side movement, I can no longer shake you with that hand. So when I bring that hand to you, I want to bring it. In my mind, is saying shake, but I will not be able to move the hand to you. Why? The coordinator said, no, something is wrong here. The human brain. The human brain. Everyone has got a brain that has the functional unit of the human brain is the neurons. Neurons. You have over 200 billion neurons. Those 200 billion neurons are capable of forming 3 trillion connections. Now, all this talk, you talk about connections, in Nigeria, they say if you don't get connection, you no go fit get there. You no go fit enter, you no go fit get, you no go fit connections. All that statement you hear came from the neurons. All neurons function from connections. Connection, the synaptic junctions must connect. You must connect. The dendrites connect to exchange data, to exchange information, connection. So, if you don't connect, you cannot correct. If you don't connect, you cannot share information. So if you want to share information with anyone, you must connect with the person. And that is a neuronal language, to connect. 2 neurons connect to form an action. They connect to form an activity. What you call failure is neurons not yet connected. When neurons are not yet connected, you say you fail. That you have failed. But once you keep doing the activity, repetition, neurons keep moving and moving and moving, and they connect. Once they connect, activity is achieved. So you may think that you're not learning nothing. You're doing something, you're trying to learn something 1 day, 2 days. You say, why is it I'm not learning it? It's not that you're not learning, you are. Neurons are making attempts. They are beginning to move from their positions to make a connection, to share an information that will form that activity. The human brain, more brains, less muscle. Why more brains, less muscle? This is very serious because we have found that many people they believe so much in muscle, physical activity. They walk and walk and walk and walk. How hard can you walk? How many years can you walk physically? But engage in your brain. That is why, and I say this, any parent who refuses to help the child cultivate, help the child to cultivate the brain is a wicked parent. Any brain that is not cultivated, you have left a human being that will only live by physical energy. And energies fail. Physical energy will fail. Time. After a while, it will fail. We're having a lot of challenges in Nigeria because we do not have people that will compel, to be compelled to make sure your brain is cultivated. Your brain is activated. It is there dormant, but must be activated. Activate the human brain. Activate it. Learn something. The activation comes from learning. The school that children go today is to help to activate the brain. Activate, do this, do that, do this. Make sure you do it. You do English, you do maths, you do science, you do agriculture, you do all that. Is touching all the different centers of the human brain to activate, cultivate, so that you can utilize, you can maximize, you can optimize the brain. Once the brain is now optimized, once you can optimize your brain, then things becomes better for you. Any nation that does not value the education of our people, meaning any nation that does not value the cultivation of the brain, the activation of the brain of the people, will remain undeveloped, will remain frustrated, will remain behind, will keep going backwards. Not so much of energy. Force does not do much. The Dalai Lama said, any victory gotten by force is short-lived. Any victory gotten by force is short-lived. Well, when you activate your brain, you go into negotiations. You negotiate and say, yes, I want to attend this course, but I don't have money. Can I walk? Can I walk for 5 months so that I can pay the bill? Because you know that you needed to activate your brain to be able to deliver the goods that you have brought to this world. Uncultivated brains uncultivated, will only lead to a human being who depends completely on energy, physical energy. That's why you see so much of force. Now the brain helps you to do what you call leverage. Leverage is from the word lever. Lever was discovered by the famous Archimedes. You know Archimedes? Archimedes discovered the lever. The lever is a simple machine that utilizes a small amount of energy to produce great output. So they say input, small input producing great output. Small input producing great output. What's a lever? A lever is like a jack, you know, a jack for a car. Now you see this car, a car about 3,000 kilograms. But this jack that does not really, that weighs like 5 kilograms. 5 kilograms of jack can raise a 3,000 kilograms car. How does it do it? Archimedes said, if you give me a place to stand, I will move the world. Give me a place to stand and I will move the world. That is the power of the lever. The fulcrum, the pivot. If you can stand it, if you can give me a place to stand, I will move the world. The place to stand and who to stand with is to stand with more brains. Brain activation, brain cultivation, brain optimization. Do things that will use you. You are doing great work by using the human faculty in your brain. All the centers, you cultivate them. Cultivation. So you put the jack there and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The car is up. Because that jack has found a place to stand. Once you find a place to stand, you will move the world. Where are you standing? The human brain has not been cultivated. We say now this is the century of the human brain. The century of the human brain. The brain will help you to solve your problems if you give it the chance. But we believe so much in energy, physical energy, physical energy, physical energy. With more brains, you have less muscle. Imagine a man who wants to cut down a tree. He has this axe, a blunt axe. Then he goes to the tree and and before you know, all his palms are bloody. Bloody from what? The axe is blunt, so he's not able to cut this tree. And what he gets is a rebound. That rebound hurts his own hand. He gets injured. Now he needs to manage his injury because his axe is not sharp. What does he need to do? He just needs to take that axe, sharpen it, return there, and 1, 2, 3, that tree will be down. All the human effort, physical effort, efforts that are just not calculated, that are not synchronized. You hit and hit, it brings injury. But once you sharpen it. Now, sharpen your sword, like in sharpening your axe, meaning that you activate, sharpen your skill, develop your skill, do things, to make sure that you do this well, sharpen your skill, learn something new. Now, learn this, learn that, and learn that again, learn the other one, learn many, many things, learn new things. Now, in agriculture, Family, you remember in agriculture, there's what you call shifting cultivation.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, I do.
What is the import? Why shifting cultivation?
So that the land can regain its what do they call it? Its fertility after it is used or been used for crops. Then you move to the next one. It's a quadrant.
Thank you very much. There's shifting cultivation. There's crop rotation. Yes. There's mixed farming.
Yes, there is.
Why? Because once you do that, you activate and you utilize the things that the ingredients that are in the soil. If you don't do that, you don't maximize.
Very true.
Once you do, somebody will say, why did I have to do chemistry? I have to do physics? I have to do biology? These are developing different centers of your brain. You do logic. Why do you do logic? There's a reason for logic. Why do you do maths? Why do you think some people run away from maths? Do you know what maths can do for your brain? Once you don't cultivate it, you will not be able to maximize it. You will not be able to optimize it. So I say we must activate more brains, less muscle. Let's begin as government to begin to arrest all the children, out of school children must be arrested and taken to facilities that their brains must be trained. If we don't do that, the trouble of the future will be worse than what we are currently having. Because any brain that is not cultivated, imagine the land not cultivated, family. What do you find in an uncultivated land? Dangerous animals.
You find weeds, you find
weeds,
animals,
snakes, and all dangerous things that will kill, and that is what is going on. Brains not cultivated will produce dangerous results. We cannot go into that place anymore because it's not cultivated. We must cultivate. Arrest. Any family, like they were trying to do the other, I think, was it in Imo State, or Anambra State, they said any child that does not start of school, the parents will be arrested or something. It's as we have come to that point. And let me tell you, there is no brain that cannot be cultivated at whatever time or age. The principle of neuroplasticity of the brain means the brain can be stretched, the brain can grow at any age. At 100 years of age, you can learn anything new. If your brain has not been cultivated for 50 years, you can start the cultivation and you will become something, your brain will be cultivated, your life will become better. If you don't cultivate, you continue in this way. See the hard labor. You are digging. Yes, it's okay to begin by using physical energy. You dig and dig and dig to earn a living. You should not continue to dig for 50 years. Once you have dug for 2 years, the money you have generated in the digging, use it to do something to move you from that digging. Because you think you are digging and digging, you exert so much energy. For how much? The people who dig, the people who dug this building, the foundation for this building, If you meet them, how much did they earn? You see, they say how much they worked harder than the architect who designed it. The architect designed the building, got some people to dig it. They dug it. They were paid not so much. But the man who was using his own brain, for instance, you say, I don't want to go to school. School is boring. School is not for us. School is a scam and all those things that people say. Listen, 5 years. This one I started going to school. You didn't go to school. You are on the streets begging. Before that, after that, you get to the park. You become a tout, for instance. You're loading vehicles. You think you're making money. You get 2,000 naira in a day. You celebrate. You go buy drinks. You go smoke something. This guy is in school 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. He's out of school. You are now 20 years of age. He's 20, you're 20. Now he comes out and he's an architect now. And there's a building that's supposed to be built and they gave him the design. The building is worth 200 million. The building for 200 million. And because he did the design, he said he's going to get 10% of 200 million. 10% of 200 million is 20 million naira. So for that one design, the architect has got 20 million naira. And the person who has been exerting physical energy, only energy, thinking, oh, this is better, do it. In all 20 years, he has not gotten a million naira. And this is phase one for the architect. First job, design, 200 million project, 20 million cost of design. More brains,
less muscle.
Less muscle. More brains, less muscle. You find that the wealthy, this is the strategy. Train these children, develop the brains, they will become the rulers. Then the poor will think, oh, we don't need this. And I hear people, they say even they talk about marriage. It's a girl child. You don't need anything. Just get a man to marry you. What you have done, you have undermined somebody, you have destroyed somebody. I like to say here, if you have a girl child, don't allow that girl child to get married to any man until that brain is cultivated at least to a level that the child or the person gets to point to you for utilization. If you have more brains, you use less muscle. What we're having in our country is that we have exerted too much muscle with less brains. No much brain, no thinking is going on. Thomas Edison said, out of the 7.5 billion people on the planet, 10% think, 15% think they are thinking, 85% would rather die than think.
That's such a dangerous cause.
They would rather die than think. Mumutu kawa bazamu iba. Thinking is the most difficult work to do, and it's for brain cultivation and activation. We must think. Think. Napoleon Hill would say, think and grow rich. Come on, think. Activate thinking. More brains, less muscle. We're going to war for things we should not fight for. We should not fight for. If we bring out thinking, we could solve it. If we send these children to school, we could solve the problem. If we had an interaction with these children earlier, we could have solved the problem. But we thought we don't need it. They don't need to go to school. And today, they say we have lost everything. We have nothing. Since we have nothing to live for, we will not allow you to live. We are angry because our brains was not cultivated. We will not let you live. Remember, if you look at that child, go and borrow that money, send that child to school. People borrow, people borrow money to buy lands. People borrow money to buy cars. People borrow money to buy jewelries. But they don't want to borrow money to educate themselves and their children.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a fund, an education fund. There must be a training fund. You know, in Nigeria, I found that when government, when they're trying to cut down budget, they go to training. They go to training costs and cut down cost of training. You know what they have done? They have undermined the nation. They vote more money to buy computers that they have had They have computers, they buy new ones. They vote money to buy cars, new cars. They vote money to want to build buildings that they don't need. But the people, see now, you buy cars. Since the man's brain is not cultivated, he destroys the cars. Femidi, Dangote bought cars for the Nigerian police. Have you seen those cars?
I did see them when they were doing the handover there.
Yeah. Where are they
Beautiful looking.
Where are they now? Listen, don't make the mistake. A brain that is not cultivated, give them anything, give it anything to destroy. Since the men of the Nigerian police have not been taken care of, we've not taken care of them, they don't feel that they are worth being the people that are custodians of security. You give them new cars, they'll break them. They'll hit them. You see them trying to chase people, they hit them, they leave those cars like that. Go and check the police vans. Are the air conditioners working? And Nigerian police, you see them sweating. A man who is sweating cannot walk well. he's in a car but he's sweating. He's looking for his handkerchief to wipe himself. He's uncomfortable. The body goes into self-preservation. He has to preserve himself. He's not had breakfast. He's not had lunch. He has no money. See his shoes. The energy from the shoe is negative. The energy from the uniform is negative. The energy from his face is negative. And you think he'll produce results. You guys are joking. If you don't activate, you don't make them feel that they have a stake here. Nothing. See what is happening at the ports. Since the custom man does not believe that it's a Nigerian, he feels okay. I can allow this in, give me 100,000 there. Get in, don't mind it.
After all, there are many others
what is it?
The
brain is not cultivated. Thinking is not going on. No sense of belonging. He's not. His children are not safe. His children are not going to school because more brains,
less muscle.
Tell me this morning, more brains, less muscle. Are you using just strength, physical strength only? Today, you don't even need to dig anymore. They have made equipment that can dig. They transfer that energy now. All over the world, what they're talking about is energy management. Energy management. The human energy, manage your energy, transfer the one that machines can do, then do. Use your energy for more important work. Let me hear you this morning.
All right, well, let's listen to you. Tell us how you're making an attempt today and the changes you will make as you apply more brains and less muscle. Should I say less muscle, more brains? I think that's the simple one.
Less muscle, more brains.
Yes. 0700951 0000. I'd like to take that again. That's 0700